Grab your magnifying glass and get ready to solve a mystery, as we're about to walk through the Strangerville storyline together. Before you get started, I do recommend having your sim live in Strangerville, just to cut down on loading screens, and also to set your sim's aspiration to Strangerville Mystery, which will act as a small guide in itself. While not essential, it can also help to hop onto a computer and train your programming skill to level 3 as well, and taking the time to get 3 close friends with a friendship bar at least 30 to 35% full will also come in handy towards the end and save you a lot of time. Now let's jump into part 1 of the Strangerville mystery, of which there are 3 different sections. The first is to simply talk about Strangerville with 5 sims. For this, I recommend heading over to the 8 Bells Bar or the Strangerville Information Center Library. You'll be able to talk to sims about Strangerville even before introducing yourself to them, and they'll reveal that there are scientists around the library and that there's more to uncover at the secret lab. Next, we need to buy Curio from the Curio shop. For this, head to the Slip 42 residential lot, which is located in a trailer park. If you head to the road and then to the right of the caravan park, you'll notice a very interesting looking stand and the option to buy Curio items. Click on this and you'll tick off the second task. Note that you don't actually have to buy anything. While you're here, you'll also notice a secret store that you can't yet access, and the option to pick up some awesome clothes such as a tinfoil hat. I thought, yes, absolutely, we are going to embrace the quirkiness, and while it won't do much for completing the storyline, I'm going to recommend getting a weird tin hat anyway. All that's left for part 1 is to examine the sealed door at the secret lab. Head to the lab and you'll find that the sealed door is located in the middle of the ground floor. The lab is also open. Examine the door and you'll find out that you need a key card to open it. Doing this will also see you complete part 1 of the aspiration. Part 2 of the aspiration focuses on opening this sealed door. The first step to doing this is to gather 15 pieces of evidence, and there are a few ways to do this. The easiest is to search the stacks of paper and the boxes around the secret lab. The stacks of paper are a little bit faster than the boxes, but it's all pretty quick. If you have level 3 of the programming skill, then you can also hack computers around the secret lab for a chance of getting a piece of evidence. But note that this is slower than searching papers and boxes. Finally, you can take a photo of a strange plant for a piece of evidence, which is very easy, but sadly can only be done once. Keep in mind that the papers and boxes will reset and you'll be able to search them again after a period of time. So I felt the easiest way to collect evidence was to search all the papers and boxes before heading home and coming back the next day to search them again. Once you've collected 15 pieces of evidence, or 18 if you're extra for no reason at all like myself, then you'll tick off the first task. You'll then be able to click this and compile it to make the secret dossier, completing the second task. Now it's time to get that key card, and there are a few ways to do this. You can either befriend a person in the military or a scientist. Scientists will hang out at the library while military personnel will gather at the bar. Once your friendship bar is at around 30%, you'll be able to request a key card and they'll hand it over. Another way to get a key card is to head on over to the Curio store with your secret dossier. Talk to whoever is running the store and request a key card. They'll then say it's in their secret inventory, and from the secret inventory you can trade your dossier and 250 simoleons for the key card. Once you've got it, then head on over to the sealed door and open it up. Congrats, that's part 2 complete. Part 3 begins with the first basement door unlocked. Here you'll see some strange plants and equipment, as well as an area with a blue-purple haze that you won't be able to get through. If you walk into the purple haze, your sim will walk back out and become possessed for 30 minutes. They'll be difficult to control during this time, but their needs will be maxed when possessed, so I absolutely recommend going right ahead and getting your sim possessed for that sweet needs bar refresh. Now on the machines on this level, you'll see that it takes 15 spore clusters in order to construct the infection profile data, and collecting these is the first task in part 3. To get spore clusters, you'll first need an infection scanner. Head back to the bar, and upon arrival, you'll notice that the world has changed, with toxins having been released into the air. There's a giant cloud over the lab, and the strange plants appear to have grown to the next stage. But back on track, we need an infection scanner. At the bar, talk to the military personnel, at which point you'll be able to ask them about the scanner, and they'll say you need to convince them to hand it over. If you're level 5 in the military career, then you can get it easily by pulling rank for the scanner. Otherwise, bribing for 750 simoleons is a good option. Seducing worked for me without any pre-flirting, and fighting can be a good option if your sim has a high fitness skill. Now that you've got your scanner, it's time to collect 15 spores. Head back on over to the secret base, and around the building you can scan the ground. Doing this will make spore clusters appear around the area, which you can then pick up. Each scan reveals 5 spores, so after scanning 3 areas and picking up the spores, you should tick this off. Now we need a hazmat suit. Firstly, use your keycard to head inside the lab and use a machine to construct the infection profile data. Once you have this, then head on over to the library and find a scientist. Again, make sure you have a relationship around the 30 to 35% mark, and then ask them to craft a spore filter for you. They'll take your infection profile data and craft it, and seconds later you'll get a notification that it's in your mailbox. Head home, grab your mail, and bam, you have your spore filter. Now go back to the curio store and talk to whoever is running the shop about Strangerville. Then ask them about the spores in the lab. They'll reveal that they have an incomplete hazmat suit in the secret inventory for 1000 simoleons. Buy it, and then combine it with the spore filter in your inventory. This will tick off your second task to get a hazmat suit. Now pop that stunning piece of fashion on and get your hot self over to the secret lab. Head in through the front door, and wearing your hazmat suit, straight through the purple clouds and through the next door, using your keycard again. Then head down 2 flights of steps and around the bend, where you'll find yourself in a giant room with more plants. Head all the way over until you see a smaller corridor leading to a final door, and use your keycard on it. This will open to reveal the mother plant, and part 3 of the Strangerville mystery will be complete. Which brings us to part 4, called Strangerville Hero, which is where we take down the mother plant. If you feel like it, you can head on over and taunt the mother plant, or even attempt to fight it right away, but you will fail. And definitely don't attempt to fight it twice in a row while the dazed moodlet is still active, as this will get your sim killed. You can also befriend the mother, which will allow you to ask for strange fruits and also request gifts, which we'll talk about briefly later. As much of a nice lady tentacle thing that the mother is once you befriend her, she's still causing chaos in Strangerville, so we're back to focusing on killing her. Just know that you can bring her back to life later on if you want to request gifts and all that fun stuff. Now first things first, attempt to communicate with the mother until your relationship is in the green, at which point you can ask for strange fruits. Spam this interaction until you have at least 7 bizarre fruits, but I recommend getting 8 to 9. Alternatively, you can head outside and nurture the purple plants, at which point they'll transform and become larger, after which you can harvest them for 1 bizarre fruit. Now we're going to need a lot of spores. You'll need at least 35, but I'd collect around 40 to 45. Grab your scanner and start picking up the spores that appear below. Once you have your supplies, then head back over to the analyzing machines and use the machines to create 3 experimental vaccines. Yes, queue them up. Then you'll need to head back to the town streets and find 3 possessed sims. Click on them and test the vaccine on them by aggressively throwing it into their face. Once you've tested the vaccine on 3 different possessed sims, you'll then find out how to make the real vaccine. You'll then want to head back to the machines at the lab and create 4 more vaccines, then drink 1 of them yourself. If you collected extra supplies, then make 1 or 2 extra vaccines now, which will come in handy in your final fight. Now remember all the way back to the beginning when we talked about how friends will help. Here's where they come in. You'll need 3 sims to help you take down the mother plant. Joining my storm chaser Ray is my ghostbuster Darius, my very powerful but glamorous vampire Rhiannon, and my yoga instructor Serenity Waters, because someone needed to balance out all of my very intense sims. First, you'll need to vaccinate them, which will be a social option that will appear only when they are located within the Strangerville world. Vaccinating all 3 sims by throwing it in their face without warning will use up 3 vaccines and also tick off the first of the 3 Part 4 tasks. Once your 3 sims are vaccinated, you can ask them to help you fight the mother. Sims need to have at least 30 to 35 friendship and they must be vaccinated. Otherwise, they'll be like, yes, but no thank you. Once 3 Sims have accepted to help you fight the mother plant, then you'll tick off the second task. Now make your Sims needs nice and high and travel to the secret lab with the Sims you've recruited. They should automatically form a group, but if they haven't, then you can do this yourself from the actions menu when clicking on other Sims. Use your keycard to make your way down to the mother, using Go Here Together to get your team to join you at the door. Then open it and select Fight the Mother with before selecting your team and beginning the battle. Note that while you probably should wear the hazmat suit, as long as your Sim is vaccinated, then it's not essential. When you start the fight, you'll notice the mother's health bar in the green and an infection level below in purple. The aim is to lower the health bar to 0 before the infection bar becomes full, which shouldn't be too hard with a team of 4. If you click on the mother, you'll notice a few options that change the way you fight. Firstly, you can retreat, which will see you give up. Don't recommend. Secondly, if you have extra vaccines, then you can throw them to deal more damage to the mother, and this can be a nice way to bring the mother's health down pretty quickly. Mega Spray will see your Sim deal more damage to the mother, and I recommend going for it, but note that this does have a lengthy cooldown. There are also group commands that change the way your group fights. Warbling Warcry will help you scare off the mother's minions, which are infected Sims roaming the battlefield. These Sims will occasionally attack your team members, knocking them out if winning. However, your Sims can win too, and overall they don't attack too often, so you can generally ignore them. The Charge command will make Sims do more damage but get infected faster, while the Be Careful command lets your Sims resist the infection but deal reduced damage. The last command is Take a Breather, and it's super useful. While you'll stop dealing damage for a short period of time, you'll also have your infection level lowered by a big chunk. Note that group commands do have a cooldown, but thankfully it's not very long. A quick strategy that works quite well is to run in before throwing any extra vaccines you have at the mother and then using your Mega Spray. Then just have your team attack as normal for a little while, and if your infection level gets too high, then use the Take a Breather group command to lower it. Before long, you'll take the win. Defeating the mother will see you complete the storyline and the Strangerville mystery aspiration, and you'll even pick up an interesting trophy for your efforts that does absolutely nothing. Also, keep in mind that you can always head back to the secret lab and revive the mother whenever you want to. And if you had a positive relationship with the mother before you killed her, then she'll have completely forgotten you killed her and she'll love you again. It's great. You can also use the interactions on the mother to set Strangerville to the weirdness level of your choice in case you missed just how strange Strangerville got. You can also ask the mother for gifts, including money, which provides around 1,000 simoleons, an extended lifespan, career success, which will boost your work performance, or energy, which will restore your energy need and keep it full for 24 hours. And with that, we've reached the end. That's a complete walkthrough to the Strangerville storyline. If you enjoyed or found this helpful, then please subscribe and leave a like. I would really appreciate it, and have an amazing day. See you later.